Have you ever dealt with a nurse who'd rather be on her phone than help you? I've never had a reason to hate hospitals until a couple of days ago. My dad started complaining about chest pains, and being the kind of person who didn't like taking risks, I immediately drove him to the hospital. They admitted him pretty quickly and got him set up in a room for monitoring. For the most part, his vitals were stable and nothing else seemed off. Still, I asked the hospital to keep him there, just for the night. I stayed beside his bed, just working from my phone while he rested when suddenly something felt off. His breathing started getting shallow. A cold sweat started beading on his forehead. The monitors weren't really showing anything. No alarms, no changes. But my gut told me something was wrong. I walked over to the nurse's station to ask for help, but the nurse behind the desk didn't even look up. Her thumbs were flying across her phone screen as she shot players down, one after the other. I glanced over and saw the logo on the screen, Call of Duty Mobile, a shooting game inside a hospital. I cleared my throat, no response. Excuse me, nurse? I asked again, still nothing. So I reached over the table and tapped on her shoulder lightly. She glanced up at me with an annoyed expression. You need something? She asked coldly. I nodded. My dad's having trouble breathing and he's sweating even though the room's super cold. I'm getting really worried and, of course, I'll check on him in a minute, she smiled, then went right back to her game. And I believed her. I went back to my dad's room, held his hand, told him everything was going to be alright, that the nurse would be over here soon. But 10 minutes passed, then 20. Dad's symptoms only got worse. Even the numbers on his monitor started jumping around, and no nurse in sight. I marched back to the station. This time I was determined to drag her along with me. When I got there, the nurse was still on her phone, completely immersed in winning the Call of Duty match. Excuse me, but my dad seriously needs someone. If you can't go, can you send someone else? I said, slowly losing my patience. She let out a dramatic sigh and rolled her eyes, still swiping her thumbs across her phone. Ma'am, every family thinks their patient is dying. I'm telling you right now, he's fine. The monitors would alert us if something was actually wrong, she said. Please, I begged, panic rising in my chest. Just come take a look. Just 2 seconds. But she didn't move. Her eyes were glued to the screen, her character looting the body in the field. That's when I lost it. I grabbed her phone right out of her hands and held it behind my back. She stood up, her face scrunched up angrily. What the? A notification popped up on the screen. Her team had lost. She started screaming at me. Do you know what you just did? I was in a ranked match. You people are all the same, always exaggerating, always demanding attention. Your father is fine. Just then, the alarms in my dad's room went off. The nurse's face went white. She shoved past me and sprinted down the hall to grab the crash cart. Within seconds, a code was called over the intercom. Doctors came flooding in from every direction while I stood in the hallway shaking, watching them pump medication and insert devices into Dad. It took 45 minutes to stabilize him. When the doctor finally came out, his face told me everything. My dad had suffered a massive heart attack, and while they managed to restart his heart, the lack of oxygen had caused severe brain damage. He was in a coma. I collapsed to the floor, too shocked to say anything. The doctor helped me to a chair and left me with one final comment. If we'd intervened 15, no, maybe even 10 minutes earlier, we likely could have prevented this. I felt my heart shatter at his words. That was exactly when I first went to the nurse's station to beg for help. I hired a lawyer the next day, but it didn't really take much. The hospital security footage showed the nurse glued to her phone for over an hour, ignoring patient after patient. It showed my multiple attempts to get help, and even recorded the way she dismissed me every time. She was fired instantly. Nursing license revoked. The hospital settled out of court for an amount I'm not allowed to disclose in exchange for 2 things: signing an NDA and moving Dad to a private VIP suite where the nurses check on him every 15 minutes. I got justice. I got accountability. I got every single thing I fought for. But when I sit beside Dad's bed and hold his hand, all I can think about is what could have happened if the nurse had just checked on him.